Hold on, what is this? Yeah, it was 20 million. I remember the number correctly. Breaks down full video of attempted 20 million crypto robbery stopped by husband. Oh, this is a different camera angle than I've seen before. So this is them coming across some part of the property near a pool. So here we can kind of get a scope of how big their property is. They have a spiral staircase outdoors. What on earth is that room? Like some kind of garage? Just... They've got a hoarder garage. Golden retriever barking at them and running away. Golden retriever behavior. Got it. You thought they went through the front door? And they went through the garage door. The door in the garage. You think they'd have indoor cameras? What? This is an indoor camera. The place is a mess. Average streamer house. If this was staged, they would have cleaned beforehand.
What's the lock? What's the lock? What's the lock? Here! Here! Nickel! We're already in! Look!
We're already here!
The camera right there, we're already in! Just do it! Go! This ain't listen.
People are rich, own a mansion, don't hire a cleaner. It's more common than you would think. Have you seen Asmongold? Goodness sakes. It didn't sound like a gunshot. That definitely sounded like a CCTV gunshot. What are they trying to steal? Crypto. Why didn't they shoot the camera? Like you would expect them to, because it's not a spy movie.
This ain't... No! Just get it! We got a problem. Keep the door.
Man. Spray paint the camera. Yeah, nothing as useful as walking right up to a camera so we can see your face and spray painting it. I don't know what these guys expected. Notice how she stayed quiet? I also would be quiet, because I'd be like, what the hell do you mean, give you the crypto? It's not like I can hand it to you like dollar bills. I would be so confused.
Go, now, hurry up! Hurry! Go, keep going, hurry! Hurry. It's in the pool. Oh, stop playing! No, it's across the way! Stop playing! It's across the way! Go! Okay, let's go! Hey, did you have a camera?
I thought she had red hair. Wait, she does have red hair. That's definitely red hair.
Okay, let's go! Hey, did you have a camera? I'm taking the phone. Hurry up. Come on.
What is that noise?
Oh, in here. It's in here.
Come on. Go.
If they have her phone? If they have her phone, why wouldn't you notice the call? Hey, keep in mind, these guys are in person stealing a digital currency. I don't think their technological literacy is very high. The phone shows a notification on a call. So my phone, I don't know what kind of phone she has. On my phone, when I'm on a call and I don't like actively like have it as the foreground, the only reason you know that there's a call is there's a little green circle in the top left. Like that's all there is. And then obviously sound coming from it. These guys are making enough noise they probably wouldn't hear an actual call. Android? Yeah, I'm Android. And they're running back out the way they came in. Because that's where they broke through the fence.
All right, so I'm calling on Noir, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have already seen the video that I did about the home invasion.
Man, that is a nice house.
And also,
And they got solar panels and everything.
Nick, who actually did the shooting as well. And so what I wanted to do was kind of basically go through exactly what happened, because I know I talk about self-defense, protect.
For the guy that got shot, he was acting really good. The more plausible explanation is that he was shot. Most people get shot don't act like that. They don't run away. They don't run away gimpy. What? Have you watched a lot of people get shot?
Protecting your home, so forth and so on, but we don't always get the perspective of the people who actually lived through it. And so what I want to be able to do is actually walk through
There's
what
no
happened.
cameras in the building with a man cave. I don't know, if I had a man cave, I wouldn't want cameras. What if I have to do something sus in there? I don't want it recorded. There also weren't any cameras in her room.
And so that people can take whatever information they can take from it, at least from your experience and your experience as well, and then make the adjustments accordingly so that if they happen to be in that type of situation.
Chat, there's plenty of sus things you can do that aren't gooning. Oh my goodness.
You can kind of be better prepared for it, even though y'all actually did a pretty damn good job. So, yeah. So, yeah, let's walk through it and see what happened. One thing I noticed when I first got here was like, you guys' place is pretty well guarded. Like it's
Yo,
it's
they've got the barbed wire fence.
So they didn't get in through the front. They got in through the back.
Yes.
All right. So kind of talk to me about what happened and how they got in.
Yeah. In hindsight, we reviewed the security camera footage so we can really like piece together the timeline. 10:30 something. You start here. Unfortunately, this camera that's up here, it goes out, and so you can't see that for the 10-minute stretch. But you can hear it from the other cameras that there's some kind of activity going on here. It's like a sawing, a banging on it, and then basically, eventually, however they do it, they get 3 of these boards, which these are, we put new nails in to just secure it for now. 3 of these boards, basically, they pulled them out, and then they basically vaulted in.
Gotcha. So did they even attempt to try to get in through the front?
They did. Briefly, one of my cameras caught them, kind of making an approach from like kind of diagonally to the front, right? And then when the floodlights and stuff, because we have a lot of kind of security stuff out front, started flickering on, they clearly changed their method of attack. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then
How
once they
convenient
got
the
in
camera went
through
out.
this area.
Hey, chat, having a wireless camera on the edge of your property go out is not a rare thing. It's something that's not ideal, but that's not a surprising thing.
Right here, what happens next?
They basically march straight across towards where the patio is, and usually the curtains are opened out, you know, especially at night. And like they see the dogs, and you can see that they optically opt to go through the garage to hopefully avoid the dogs, it seems.
Gotcha. Okay, so I can see, okay, so this is the garage area right here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
All right, because even my mind now,
Yeah.
with the knowledge I have, if I kind of walked in and saw that,
Yeah.
I would have thought
That's a garage? Rich people are crazy, chat. That's a garage? That's the nicest looking garage I've ever seen. They've got windows and stuff on it?
that was the interior of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, so basically they come here and then like they see the dogs are like right at the thing looking at them, right? And
On,
like
on the other side
of this barrier, this
Gotcha,
because that
okay.
barrier is there, the curtains are not there.
Gotcha,
Right?
okay.
They're drawn, and then so like the dogs are just here looking. Princess is barking like a little bit.
Okay, so they've got the yard sectioned off into various sections, and the dogs were in one section. And they tried to go through the garage to avoid the dogs in that section. But the dogs were cowards anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
But like they're not really like, it's like, oh, weird, there's strangers here, but like, you know, they're here to play or whatever. Then they optically go here, and that's
Golden
when it gets
retriever
a little
behavior.
comedic in that like this is always unlocked, which you know, like this glass door, and so instead of checking it whatsoever, they just instantly go to smashing, you know, in the glass, and
They
then
just slid it
good.
open.
yeah, and then suddenly
They didn't
they're
even try. They didn't even try to slide it open. They just
they just
okay.
went for the thing, right? And then in here we have a bunch of like
They
you know
smashed the glass
we
door
entertain
that
our
was
nieces and
unlocked.
nephews a bunch, and so there's a lot of kids' toys and just you know random doodads, and it's very cluttered. And so then there's this comical thing because there's a camera in there also of like they just are falling over things. It's dark. They're
Okay.
tripping over.
Chat, I just noticed. They've got the like little tiny like the kids size like Cybertruck here. Those things are so stupid.
For everything, they're swimming through this trash basically.
Okay. Yeah, that would have flustered the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, yeah. So they're tripping all over, and then like you can see they finally make it to the door, and they're thinking, I'm assuming
hoarders.
that
Oh
it must
my
be
goodness.
okay. Now we're gonna get in the house, and they open it, and now they're facing the two dogs on the
Okay, so
patio because this is
gotcha.
a detached garage. Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay. That's hilarious as shit. And that's on video.
yeah.
At this point, we're gonna cut to you and where you were at this time.
So I was
that is
laying in
so
bed,
much
and the
stuff.
3 guys come in this hallway after they bust down the door, and then they turn all the lights on.
They told me.
They
Okay.
turn, I'm just like, what is happening? I think
Criminal masterminds, chat.
at this point, I already have Nick on the phone because as I was laying here, right, I went to bed early. He was still in his man cave across the driveway. I put on my sleeping mask, and about like maybe 2 minutes after I did that, I hear really loud bangs coming from beneath this. I guess that was them breaking the glass door.
Gotcha, okay.
But I didn't know that at the time.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes,
Makes
I
sense
know
now.
what's happening.
Yeah.
I just hear really loud crashing sounds, and I call Nick and I asked if he heard that. He says, no, it's probably the dogs, because our dogs will jump on the table and the crates on the patio
Gotcha.
and make noise. But I felt like it was way
Golden
too loud for
retriever
dogs.
allowed on the
And
table.
so
It's
I told
wild.
him, well, I'm going to lock the doors anyways. If you want to come in later, call me, because I'll probably be asleep. And I went and locked this door, and then I locked my bedroom door over there, and I try to lay back down. And then a few minutes later, I hear even louder bangs coming from that door, and then some shots, because they were trying to shoot it open. And then they finally kicked it in, crashed, and that's when the 3 of them entered and turned on the lights. And so at this point, they're pointing guns at me, telling me to stand up. And so I come over here, as they're like coming at me with the guns pointed at me, and I sit in this chair, and one of them has the gun pointed at my
So
head.
they sat you on the chair. Or you sat you.
I
they
sat
just-
on the chair.
Okay, gotcha.
Because they said,
Well, that's definitely a cuck chair. I was trying to be generous earlier when I was like, yeah, they rolled a gamer chair into the corner. That's not what that is.
stand up, but if they're coming this way, I don't really have anywhere else to go,
Gotcha.
right? And one of them has the gun pointed at my head, and the other one is asking where the crypto is, and he can hear all this too as it's going.
Yeah, relationally, I don't know where the phone is, but like I can hear, this. Yeah.
Gotcha. So so where was the phone at the time when?
At first, I had it when I sat down initially, but as he was asking where's the crypto, and I said I don't have it, he took my phone and then told me to unlock it for him, and then I guess he was looking for the Coinbase app, which I don't even have on my phone.
Gotcha.
And so when he didn't find that, he asked again, "Where's the crypto?" And I said, "I don't have it. It's not here." And then the guy pointing the gun said, "Hit her." Luckily, I had actually taken some influencer boxing courses because
Influencer boxing
tournament like a few years ago.
Okay.
And so my instincts went up just like to defend myself, and so that's why like my face looks okay. But I did get a laceration underneath my hairline on top of my head, and then like my hand is still recovering.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
From earlier this month, yeah. And so I was just going like this, and they hit me 3 times.
And they were hitting you with the gun.
Yeah, pistol whipping.
Ah, okay.
And not shooting.
Yeah.
If they did that, they don't know what the crypto is still, right?
So did they? So they assumed it was you still had it on exchange. Or,
Yeah,
on
I
Coinbase
think
or
they
whatever,
might have
and
thought
then-
there was like a cold storage
Gotcha.
device somewhere
Okay.
that
was okay.
that they didn't know where it was. They're trying to like get the answer out of me. And so after the 3rd pistol whipping, I just figured that they're not going to stop beating me. If I don't give them what they want, they might even shoot me, right? Because
Gotcha.
like they're already pointing at my head. They already shot the door down. So I knew I just had to do something. I didn't really have a plan, but I just knew that there's no way they're going to let me like open up my bed drawers to grab my gun or anything.
So that was going to be my next question. So you do keep a gun up here?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
We do. But, usually in my mind, it's always been like, oh, you hear
in the bed drawer.
you hear people
It's not
breaking,
terrible.
your camera alerts you, and you have time to figure it out, but not in this case. It
Yeah.
happened way too fast.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because you actually technically did hear it, but because the kind of human mind, we don't want it to be what the worst case scenario is, right?
Right.
So because I probably would have done the same, like, nah, you just
Right.
kind of let it go. But then your intuition did kind of kick in, so you decided, hey, I'm gonna call Nick. It's like something's not right, right?
Yeah.
And then inevitably, if you hadn't have done that, this could have probably honestly gone totally different.
Yeah.
Like totally different. So, and then at this point in time, you were over there in the man
Did the
cave.
CC
Yeah,
footage
it's a whole detached,
show them
separate
poking
structure.
around the house
we
at
originally
all?
merged 2 lots.
or did
and
they
so that's the
beeline straight
second
to
lot.
her room? I mean, when they got into like the main house area, they like walked a circle around like their like living room, kitchen, super room a little bit before they found the stairs.
And we have, it's like how we do work life separation. It's like I have an office up there, I have like a man cave up there, she has her studios downstairs, and then there's a gym in that area. And so I'm in my man cave, and then like a lot of people mention like, oh, well, how did
They have a gym. They have a gym too. Oh my goodness, Chad! I want to be a rich people.
you not hear? It's like that entire structure is hyper sound
yeah.
insulated,
Yeah.
right? The idea was if I'm above her, I should be able, or she should be able to yell. I shouldn't be able to hear, and vice versa, right?
Yeah.
And so that kind of worked against us in this case because I'm in the bathroom taking care of my business.
I mean, you were
right?
taking a shit.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. If we can say that, then we'll go with that. Yeah. I was taking shit. And then like
I'll be
she
as
called
big
me
as
back
Leaf one day.
within 2 minutes, right? So it's like I don't know what, like 10.
We'll see. We'll see.
8:49 p.m. Okay. And then I pick up. I just finished the thing, and then it's on speakerphone, and then I hear the thing play out like instantly, right?
Gotcha.
Like it really felt like the whole Taken thing, except I didn't speak to the bad guy on the phone. Is the only difference. Yeah.
Right. So at this point, finish off where you were when they had you here, gun to your head, they were beating you, they pistol whipping you with your gun and whatnot. All right, so then what happens from there?
Yeah, after the 3rd hit, I just was like, I'm got to do something different. So I pretended that I knew where it was. Like, oh, I remember where I put it, actually. Hold on, I'll show you. You can have it all. And so I'm like, kind of like jogging. I don't have any shoes on either. I'm just like in my socks and pajamas, and I'm jogging through the hallway. Well, now it's all...
You don't need nor want to be a rich person. You set up for a small house. I mean, I don't need a big like house necessarily. However, guns are a little expensive. Chat, this might be a surprise to you. I'm kind of a big fan of guns. And those are expensive.
We're getting a new door and everything.
What on earth was
going
that? Was an
You can
ugly
actually
wall
see 'cause
decoration.
my hands were covered in blood from my head and my hand being hit. You can see the blood still as I was like balancing myself. And I didn't
Gross.
even realize it at the time because I guess the adrenaline, but they had pulled my hair back. We saw on the security
Like
camera.
right here, like he just grabs a fistful of her hair and just yanks back, and you almost fall on your back in the video.
Yeah.
And like she doesn't remember that in the moment because whatever, but that's what me and Jacob saw looking at the footage, like just right after the thing. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so I'm leading them across here. And at this point, I don't really have
Thug
a plan.
behavior.
Because I just know that any of the options for defense, whether it's going to
my
be him
goodness. They've got 5 garage doors, chat. And their cars are parked outside.
or the panic room are in this other building. Okay, so this is the building. And I don't actually know how close they are behind me because I wasn't looking back at all. And so,
So you were kind of like at a jog trot.
yeah,
One of them was close.
As much as you can do in
The other
Michigan.
two were slow pokes.
And so I know that this panic room that we have, the door historically, every time I try to open and close it, is very heavy. And I just don't know if I have time with 3 of them chasing me to actually close it effectively before they just push it against me.
Oh my, they have
And so
so
I decided I'm
much
just gonna run up here.
stuff.
So now we're back in your world.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
so
my
basically,
goodness.
On the phone during the call where I'm still hearing most of everything, I've, at this point put up my briefs, didn't wipe. I have a plate carrier by the door. I'm a little bit of an over prepper, and so I slipped that on.
You want to know what piece the rubber had? Boy, was shiny. I was some like chromed out or like stainless pistol. Could have been a revolver.
I type in a little thing into my little, gun safe thing, like just for a handgun, right?
So, did you get it right the first time? The code.
I honestly don't remember.
Okay.
But okay, so I have a really dumb code that you can't really mess. It's like the same number.
Gotcha.
1, 2, 3,
okay.
4.
Fair enough.
No.
And the reason I asked that is for my own personal, because
My safe code is 111. It's not. But if you need to get into it, if you need to get into a safe really fast, it's good code. 5555.
sometimes I'm in a situation where if I have a gun in my safe like that, is the adrenaline going to cause me to kind of fuck up the first time and then kind of go back? Because it can be a little kind of hard to do that. So that's why I asked.
Yeah, and so I knew right then that unfortunately most of my guns are locked away. I have my concealed carry, 9mm handgun, and then I also have a shotgun. But because I know, hearing that they're, hitting her and are clearly close in proximity, I know that the shotgun isn't going to be the thing. So I slip on the plate carrier, I take the gun out of the locker after I press the code, and I'm running down here and I run to this door. By the time I get to this door,
Having enough time to put a plate carrier on is like ideal goals in a home invasion situation.
they're clearly on the move, and my Google Home thing is flashing with notifications like person moving across camera 2 upstairs, person moving across camera 3. I don't know if it's a 5-second or a 30-second delay. I just know that they are on the move. And
doesn't
then,
take long to put one on.
Hearing it, she's clearly
doesn't.
leading them somewhere, and so I figured
sometimes
she's
you
definitely going to lead them
still don't
here.
think- you don't know if
because
you have
not
enough
only
time.
is the panic room here, I'm here.
Luckily, they have to run across a whole compound, so he definitely has time to put on a plate carrier. See, I would not have time to put on a plate carrier if there was already someone in my house. But if I had multiple buildings, then maybe.
And she was on the phone with me, right?
Okay.
So everything that isn't out, so to speak, is here. And so with that in mind, and this is the thing, right? Full sprint from here to the master is 2.5 minutes probably. Their whole elapsed time from the door coming down to me shooting the guy is 4 minutes and 35 seconds. We tell the story and it's it sounds like half an hour, but no, it's less than 5 minutes, right? And it's from on the toilet and up. And so I'm at the door and then I realize, okay. And then luckily we have these lights kind of like the other place where if you smash the top, they go max brightness because it's the gym, right?
Okay.
And so the idea, luckily I have a little of experience, now that I've seen camera work. I'm like, oh, the lighting's like an important thing. So I turn on all the lights here max, and then I run up here and I turn off this whole staircase lights.
Okay, so at this point, where are you at this, after you smash the lights? So you're.
Then I run up and I want to close the lights here so that there's at least some.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah.
Gotcha.
And then like as luck would have it, like I'm coming back down and then they're like it's so fast, right? And so then basically it was tough because I knew it's like in the movies it's like, oh, someone's holding your loved one at gunpoint and it's like, oh, you just take the perfect shot, but like I know enough to know that you can't take that, like that kind of thing. Like I can't at least. And so like I was
At least he's aware that his skill level is not that high. Why does the stair look like a Saks building stairs with shoes?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
So, because you mentioned something, I'm gonna go back real quick. You talked about starting between a shotgun and a handgun, right? So, what made you choose a handgun over the shotgun? I'm kind of leading you into what you're getting at now.
So if it was me hold up, I would probably pick the shotgun. But because I'm going to them, one thing, and then the second thing, the more important one is that she's with them in close proximity. It just felt like that was too much of a blunt instrument.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so, my
got
hope
video
was that
game
like,
shotgun logic.
I didn't think she would respond if I told her to get down. And so I was like, I need to have a window of actually firing. And so I picked a spot where I thought, there could be some separation. And so they come here, she's here, and she's leading them, right? And she gets to here, and I tell her to get down. And like, I still credit her with acting so like, she's so cogent and calm that like she gets down immediately.
Okay.
She just gets all the way down. And then like, these three, they rush up here and then they line up briefly. And so I only see what the first guy's doing, right? Like I'm just tunnel visioning on him. And he looks up at me and like in the moment, like it's all on mute, right? Like, stress and adrenaline's at its peak. And so he yells something at me as he's raising his, hand holding the gun. And I don't know what that is. I see his mouth moving. And then so, I have my gun roughly trained on him.
The intense situation deafness. It seems like it would be terrifying. I obviously have never been in a situation that has been that stressful. But that is a real thing. Is the stairway to a gym in his man cave? Why are the steps cluttered up with her shoes? Maybe his man cave starts at the top of the stairs. I don't know, chat. I don't know. Moral of this lesson: have a small home, not a cartel base. Yeah, but I mean, he had time. He had time to prepare because they had to run all the way across their compound. So, I don't know. Maybe it's not that bad.
And then I fire, 3 shots, even though, and I thought they'd be loud, but like it was literally like I didn't hear the shots.
Which is crazy because we're in here right now, so you're gonna get some decent level of variation.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like no, there's the volume was off, right?
Yeah, my ears are ringing. So.
Yeah.
Oh, so your ears were okay because at
Yeah.
that point you were already kind of out of the adrenaline.
Yeah, she wasn't even looking at the thing. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so like I can tell he's hit somewhere because he stumbles back, and if I had to guess, like I aim center, but because no one expects to, I don't train on an incline, so it's like I went low.
Yeah.
Like right, and so he stumbles back. His friends grab him, they pull him, and from my vantage point, it's like I can't see them anymore. So I run to her. She's still huddled here. I grab her and I pull her up, and she had no idea what the outcome was.
Yeah.
Right. Shots are going.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so I pull her up. I lock the door up there, and then
So did they get a shot off back towards you or at all?
That's
or?
unclear.
Gotcha.
Later on, because I've never in my life fired a 22, but they found a 22 shell casing and then the actual bullet. So it's like somewhere but like who knows, right?
Yeah, he had the bulletproof vest on, so.
Yeah, I had plate carrier. Well, they didn't hit me. I know that.
Yeah.
If,
There you go.
if they had hit his plate carrier, even with a 22, that would be obvious. A 22? Yeah, the bad guys, the robbers here were using a 22. Skill issue.
Yeah.
What gun was it?
It was a Staccato CS.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So not a huge gun, but I mean decent capacity.
Compact
16,
Staccato.
16 plus one. I mean
Yeah,
15
double
plus
stack,
one.
yeah.
Yeah. So okay. Also, and so at that time, when you went to grab it, what was your thought process in terms of grabbing a gun? In terms of thinking through, like, did you see your sights? Did you have a red dot on it? Did you see the red dot? So forth and so on.
Yeah, I have a red dot on all my guns. Basically, it's just easier for me because I it's like not a profession, so it's like I don't have that level of comfort. I want it to be pick up and go. But in that case, like, there's a lot of things I don't remember. One is I don't remember turning the safety off, and then one is that, like, no, I don't remember seeing the dot line up. It was more so like just instinctual. You pick it up, and then luckily muscle memory kicked in, safety off, and then you fire the shots.
And that's why I kind of always talk about, like, when you
He
go out
had
and train,
enough muscle memory to
even a
turn
little
off
bit
the
to
safety.
Train a little bit of not using your sights, and what I mean is,
So he's not-
just point shooting, just drawing, and then just acting as if you're startled and presenting a gun. Because,
minimally
like you
trained.
just talked about, you had a red dot on there, right? And you didn't even remember seeing the red dot, which I think is what's going to happen with most people. And people I've talked to who've been in situations, I've yet to meet one person that said, oh yeah, I had a clear front sight, or I had that red dot dialed in on exactly what I was shooting at. It's never, ever happened from the people I've talked to. So being able to do that, I think is going to be incredibly valuable. And then so, like, now you're on the ground, crouched down. So what's going through your head? Because at this point, you're leading them into a situation. You know he kind of knows what's going on to a degree, but you don't know exact. So what's going through your mind at that point?
It sounds crazy, but like not that much. I guess the shock, and now it's starting, my head starting to pound more. Gotcha. And so he tells me to hide, and I go to the balcony that we have, and I just huddle there in the corner until the police come. And then as I'm sitting on the balcony, though, I'm thinking, like, I don't know if he's dead or not, because I didn't look back, and he went to go
guarding
fight
the
the
door.
bad guys. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you don't know if they're going to come back.
Correct.
They
Yeah.
dragged them off.
It felt like now with the benefit of hindsight, you see them. They get shot. They never stop running. Right. Like the security camera outside this building shows them coming in, 3 shots firing, them running out like Scooby-Doo villains. They never stop running through the whole property. Every camera's catching them running, and the guy who got shots in shock yelling, just on repeat, I got shot. I got shot. I got shot.
You thought he told her to duck? He told her to, like, duck or get down or something. It's a little unclear whether she actually heard him and followed command, or if she just, like, fell going up the stairs.
So they went out the way they came in.
Yeah, like just and then, like, the guy who got shot stumbles because it's like a little bit of a vault over, and so he stumbles and, like, leaves, like, he leaves blood all along the driveway, and then he leaves a little pool where he fell over of the thing. But to me, I shot one guy. There's 3 armed
Gross.
guys. They seem pretty determined. I thought for sure they're going to avenge their buddy, or they're going to come for what they were here for, right? And so I was standing guard behind that door, and then this is the call I made to 911. And then, like, even, like, as I was saying it, like, because, like, so this is the part I haven't mentioned as much, but it's like, we get swatted a lot.
Okay.
Like, that also is a big risk that comes with the live streaming, right? Because if they can get that instant feedback of I swat the person and I see them being swatted, that's that sends them into overdrive, you know? Like a YouTube thing, you'd edit it out, right?
Yeah.
And like, so
Unless
like,
Peter told me to keep it there.
and so it's like, honestly, like, at times it felt like once a month, and even infrequently, it's at least once every other month. It happens all the time.
Crazy.
It is. Yeah,
That is crazy.
It's at a certain scale of live streaming, and, like, obviously bigger.
And there needs to be some kind of legal punishment for swatting. But there's not. There is. They don't tend to pursue the call as much. So if there is something in place, but it's never enforced, that's just the same as there not being anything in place. There's no practical difference between those two. This isn't something I mentioned a lot. What did he say he hadn't mentioned a lot? Oh, that they got swatted. So I mean, it could be, it's not something we talk about a lot, like, before this incident. Like before this incident, we didn't talk about getting swatted a lot, but it's like relevant to his faulty decision making here. So now they're mentioning it.
People, it affects them even more.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, some of them, like, it's like, you know, they have the person, the responder on phone, and then they're just like, you know, we're going to send someone over, just show them your ID, say everything's okay, right?
Yeah.
That's what it becomes, right? The first time, you know, you're military hog tied to the floor and guys with guns are swarming the place.
Yeah.
And then after that, you know, a cop shows up and he just, you know, looks at your ID, asks you a few questions, and it's done, right? So like for me, bumps in the night, if they involved people, they've always been a swatting. And so like my first response actually can't be, you know, imagine in suburbia America, you show up and open the front door with a gun,
That's why literally my mind was like, it's fucking dangerous. Shit.
Yeah. So it's almost like, you know, historically more dangerous to be like guns out running around the place like a cowboy, right? And so, you know, but in this case, I felt pretty good that it.
How are people able to swat others free of charge? Because they're not pursued. That's why. No one pursues it. You don't believe in for a second? Tim Pool talks about himself less than these people. They are influencers. Influencers talking about themselves. That's just how it works.
It was definitely not any kind of authority thing.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I felt like somewhat freed up to act in that way, yeah.
So now, from that perspective, having gone through all of that, so what kind of, and you know, within reason, because there's no point to just share everything at that point, and then now everybody knows the whole system. But like kind of what changes mentally, physically have y'all kind of undergone in terms of, you know, potentially guarding against something like this happening again?
More security, better reinforced walls. You know, it's like if you have two big cement walls and then some wood ones, well, they're going to go to the wood ones probably, if they can at all.
It's either move or make yourself an optically and actually just harder target, right? Yeah.
Because I mean, like even from the police standpoint, I'm like, how many times did you call the cops? Did you ever call the cops at any point?
No.
it
I
was,
called
it was
twice.
Okay.
Once.
They took my phone.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah. So once was when they were halfway, like not halfway, but like they were rounding the driveway and starting that journey, and then the phone finally disconnects. That's when it actually. So I stopped getting the audio feedback. So the camera was pinging, right?
Pinging. Okay.
And so then I called the cops and like literally that first call, and you know, I it's fair because it's like I've never been on the, you know, the calling side of the equation. It's someone swatting me, right?
Gotcha.
And so then I'm over there and like. Every time I got swatted previously, I would ask them, you know, after they were done sweeping the place, I'd be like, what did they even say? And it was always something hyper outrageous, like, you know, oh, there's a hostage situation, you know, the kids are still here, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And in this case, I picked up the phone. I said, hey,
The kids?
you know,
Wait, they have kids? The kids are still here? Or is that just what people say when they call to get the police to show up, guns blazing?
guys, they have my wife at gunpoint, and it's kind of a hostage situation. This just is a swatting call. And then you could tell they were like, you know, maybe they sent someone immediately, but they were kind of like, okay, hold on, more slowly, sir. Like, you know, who are you and what's the situation? It's like, you know, and then at that point, you know, I go, they're coming, I gotta go. Yeah. And they go, no, you know, stay, whatever. I was just like, all right, I'm hanging up.
Gotcha.
And I do the thing, and then I call them back.
Maybe don't flaunt yourself all over the internet. Remind you of the Celebrity Enclave from the World War Z book. I mean, you can say don't flaunt yourself on the internet, but literally, like, the reason that they have this compound property is because they've made a lot of money flaunting on the internet. So, I don't know. I think for like 99.9% of the population, don't flaunt yourself on the internet. Even I don't really flaunt myself on the internet, although I do show a lot of cool stuff. At least I think it's cool stuff. But they literally like make their living flaunting on the internet, and they don't make just a little bit of living. They make a lot of money.
Yeah. So the reason I asked you that too is the first thing that just went through my head was like, damn, it's like you even if you wanted to wait for cops, you couldn't. You didn't have the time. Right? So that's crazy. And that's something I'm always kind of pointing out. It's like, it's not that cops don't want to be there. It's not like they can't be there. They literally can't be there.
Yeah.
They just can't be there in
Yeah.
time. Like, even for you, like, you were in your bed.
Yeah.
Like, you're not calling the cops. Like, there's nothing they're gonna do to help you in that situation.
Yeah, and if I was
Like,
on the phone with the cops, they could have just shot me, right?
there's that too. Yeah, I didn't even think about that actually.
And like the second call, it was about 8 minutes, so it's pretty fast, right? Like it's like on the scale of it, I think it's pretty fast.
Yeah.
And like, but this whole thing from her door.
8-minute response time. 8-minute response time in the rich people suburbs. That's pretty good. That's very good. They have more than enough already. They could retire and live out the rest of their life comfortably, low profile. I don't know about low profile, just because of how popular Amouranth is. But there's a lot of people who have made enough money to retire peacefully and live out the rest of their days never having a concern. But people continue working because they either love what they do or they have goals they haven't met yet, or a series of reasons.
Door coming down, if you start the clock at that point, to me shooting the guy, it was like 4 minutes 30 some odd seconds. So it's like it's double that time still.
That's
you know?
crazy. And like, just walk, like you said, walking that from them getting into there, walking to where she was, then having her come out of here. We're not even kind of factoring in everything that happened on the chair, right? So there's that, and it's still just 4 minutes.
Yeah, that's fast.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think we still have the blood in the bullet holes.
A little
behind
bit,
you,
yeah.
actually.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
The guy getting shot and then the bullet holes in the wall right here.
Well, no, I mean, I really appreciate it because, like I said, very few people are going to go through this, but nobody knows if they're going to go through it, right? So that's why I kind of wanted you guys to kind of walk through it for me so that we can give your side of the story and then people can kind of learn from that. And I know a lot of people thought it was fake,
Right.
because you were posting it on Twitter and on social media and so
Yeah,
forth and
and a
so
lot
on.
of them said they didn't see the blood until because most of the security footage of me running over here, it was still like in my hair.
Gotcha.
And so
your
yeah,
hair's red.
It is red.
Yeah, gotcha.
But then by the time I guess on the balcony, I was like just checking out my own wounds, and then like because I rubbed my head, it started bleeding more.
And they brought medical people, so once they reached us, it was like, momentary before the medical people were absolutely on her. But like when me and the first responder turned.
Yeah, medical people are going to treat people with head wounds very expeditiously.
To look at her, my first time really seeing her in the light, like it was just a lot of blood coming down, and it looked a lot, like it looked like we both asked, like, are you hit,
And I think part of the reason where you got some of the it's fake aspect too is because the main video we saw was you running to this door.
Right.
Right. And so without context, it just seems freaking odd. It's like, what? She's like trotting to the door and then and you're like,
American health insurance sounds very expensive, but since they're rich, I don't think they're worried about the healthcare bills in this situation.
the hell? But now within the full context, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and then the other part was like they go, wait, you said you were woken up by them, but why are you running to the front door?
Exactly, right? But they didn't have the layout of the way things are here.
Yeah, I think the vast majority of the population doesn't think about running between buildings on your property. That is not something that's even a consideration for most people. But that's just like their everyday life. Like, yeah, I got woken up, walked across the yard to the other building on my property. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, so
Someday I'm going to have a property with multiple buildings on it. Except the other building's going to be a personal shooting range. And probably not, but that'd be cool.
Well, I really do appreciate you letting us kind of come into you guys' house and just showing the world essentially what happened. And I'm glad you're okay.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're okay.
Thank you.
Did your shit. Good shit. Good shit. That was
He's
a
the
good
hero.
shit.
I just ran. I was like, I don't know what to do.
No, I mean, for a lot of people, like, they don't have And like you said, it wasn't like you had this planned out in your mind and you had this, but you had some level of preparation, which helped you in that regard, right? For everything that went wrong, enough went right to overcome what went wrong. And so I'm not gonna lie to you, play care.
I just noticed, what is this style he's got going on here? Got the sweatpants, like casual V-neck shirt, plaid jacket. Slum pimp. I don't know. I don't know if personally I would make those fashion decisions. But then again, I also am one of the poors, so maybe I just don't understand.
There's some G shit. Yeah, I always thought about doing the same thing, right? So last question, and it might be a difficult one, may not be. If you didn't have access to a firearm, what do you think you would have or could have done?
I have no idea. It's almost like because I afterwards, you run the scenario endlessly, and you're like, even in my scenario, I could shave a few seconds off by not getting my gun, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, what would I do? Rush over there and then
Yeah.
Oh, hey guys, I know where it is. That's all you can do. I know where the crypto is. She doesn't know. Let her go.
Yeah.
If you let her go, I'll show you. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
But then, it ain't great. But I guess it fixes her. Maybe, right? Maybe because there's three of them.
Yeah.
If one guy goes with her,
Then
he's still with her.
That's true. That's
So
actually
it's
very true.
I've thought about it. I was like, I have no idea. That was the only path that didn't lead to disaster. It seemed like.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
makes sense. Damn, well, fuck, it's crazy. But no, I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much, and I'm glad everything worked out as best it could. One thing's for certain and two things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants
It's very
don't
interesting.
want gun content to be recommended to you. And we're all fighting this culture war together.
Ads.
You can
Chat
help
us ads
do
at the
your
end.
part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person.
Wait.
Together we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.
I think that is the first Collian Noir video that I've seen in a very long time that didn't have a USCCA sponsorship in it.